Hey everybody, welcome to Newark Airport. It's Diane's winter break, so we're taking the week and we're going to Portugal. We're actually going to Porto, but we intentionally booked a long layover at Lisbon. So it's Sunday night right now, and we're going to get into Lisbon at 8 a.m. Monday morning. We're not going to fly from Lisbon to Porto until 6 p.m. So we have basically the day to go out and explore Lisbon, kind of go for a 2-for-1 in the same trip. We'll get Lisbon, we'll get Porto. We're also going to Douro Valley to check out a bunch of wine, as of course we would do. We're also going to take a long layover on the way home, not quite as long, but we're going to be in Frankfurt. So hopefully we'll get out and explore Frankfurt a little bit. So we're kind of looking forward to that. But in any case, I'm going to do my best to shoot video along the way. And well, if you're watching this, I was successful. So come on, let's go. And welcome to Lisbon. After an hour delay in Newark, a hell of a time finding lockers in Lisbon Airport, and a really long staircase, here we are in Lisbon. Now we'll do a little walking tour for ourselves. We have about 4 hours to enjoy the city, and then we gotta head back to the airport for our connection onto Porto. Famous tram car. There it is.
Eu sou o Tony do Capri e ainda vivo aqui nesta tão linda.
All right, now it's time for my first pastel de nata. Quite good, quite good. Crocodile commercial, but come on this way. Elevator de Santa Justa. 550 euros to take the elevator to the top. Probably gonna pass on that. We got some really great views of the city already today for free, just walking around. But it is pretty cool from 1901. Ginja, cherry liqueur. Salud, I think. Wow.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
It's like
I don't know how to describe it.
has like a pork.
They give you a little cherry in it too. Yeah, it's like a mixture. It's like a more licorice port.
Not licorice.
Not licorice, but like liquor-ish. You know what I mean? Not licorice, but liquor-ish. The pronunciation, like, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, there's a cherry. Don't eat that.
I'm gonna lose my sunglasses.
Molto bene. All right, we just finished touring Lisbon. Headed back to the airport now on the metro. Pretty cool. We got to taste pastel de nata, first ever.
Couple pastels.
Couple pastel de natas, different kind of pastels. Some codfish pastry thing, which is very good. The cherry liqueur, a chocolate cherry liqueur. Really, really good time getting a chance to take a look at Lisbon. So we're definitely happy that we took the longer layover so we could go ahead and do that. But now it's back to the airport and off to Porto. Good morning from Porto. Today we're basically going to be exploring the city. Tomorrow we're going to be going into Douro Valley, and also Thursday we're going to be going into Douro Valley to do a bunch of wine tasting. Although we're not going today, we wanted to get an early head start and head over to the train station to get our tickets. So it's one less thing that we have to worry about tomorrow, and we can really just kind of familiarize ourselves with the train station and everything like that. So luckily, our hotel's really centrally located. So São Bento train station is right up the street from our hotel. It's like 2 blocks away. And it's absolutely beautiful. Take a look at the blue and white tiles on the train station. Welcome aboard the Via Douro. Our first event of the day is we're doing what's called the 6 Bridges Cruise. It's about a 1-hour long cruise where we go underneath each of the 6 bridges that go across the Douro River connecting Porto and Gaia. And off we go.
Holds the world record for the bridge with the largest wrought iron arch.
Ce pont métallique a été inauguré en 1886 et il est l'œuvre de l'ingénieur belge Théophile Séric.
In front of us is the Maria Pia Bridge, which was designed by Gustav Eiffel, just like the Eiffel Tower. Take a good look at the white building. It's the Royal School for the Orphans of Oporto and was founded in 1651. To give a home and education to the city's abandoned and vulnerable children.
So, got done with the 6 Bridges boat tour, which was really, really cool. Very happy that we decided to do that. We headed over to the Church of St. Francis. Really beautiful. The negative was they were doing construction behind the altar, so we didn't really get to see the altar area. And also a negative is there's no pictures allowed, but luckily they didn't really enforce that rule. Now we're off to have lunch, and we won't be eating at McDonald's, but take a look at this. This is pretty much the coolest McDonald's I've ever seen. But we're gonna go have something a little bit more authentic. Here we are at lunch. Cod. Octopus. Bon appetit. So we've taken pictures of it. This morning we took a boat underneath it, and this afternoon we're walking across it. The Louis I Bridge is what we're on, and as you can see, what we're about to do is we're walking over to Gaia. So we're leaving Porto to go to Gaia because now the real experience begins. Our first trip to our first port wine lodge in Gaia, and we'll begin our wine tasting. But check out this view. Check out the old school like port wine boats that you can walk right over. Pretty sweet.
So that's that elevator.
Let's continue across. And now that we're mostly across the bridge, we could walk to the winery, but we've been doing a lot of walking, so what we could do, and will do, is take one of those super cool little gondolas. I hope this isn't the last video I ever make. Like as it goes down. Oh, okay, all right, it's not so bad. All right, it's not so bad. I can do. Okay. Here we go. This is riding in style. Of course, I would suggest if you're going to go just one way, you should probably go. Wow, it's shaking because Diane's deciding to bounce back and forth. So when I die, I want everyone to realize that's why. Anyway.
Dramatic.
So this is the way to go. Now, if you were just going to go one way, I'd actually recommend that you go up rather than down. It's the same cost, but we're gonna be idiots and we're gonna be the ones to walk up and take the ride down. At least it'll burn off some of the calories from all the port wine we're gonna drink and all the really unhealthy food that we're gonna intake. So
Look at that restaurant.
There we are. Here's stop number 1 on the wine tasting trip, and just in time because it's just starting to rain. Faria. It's time for our first wine tasting. All right, one tasting down. It was very good. Now we're on to our second one, Graham's Port Lodge. I've seen this a ton in stores like Total Wine, Gary's Wine, so I'm really excited to try it. I don't think I've actually ever had any of their stuff, but they have pretty wide distribution in the US, so I'm pretty excited to try it. So, time for tasting number 2 at Graham's.
As we go down, we saw that temperature already increased a little bit. Come a little closer. I usually do a stop here so you have an overview over the cellar. Do you have any questions?
We just had an awesome tour. Now it's time to taste the wine. Got some great pairings to go with it as well. All right, it's about a little bit before 7:30 in the morning, and we are on a train to Panau, where we're gonna start our Douro Valley experience. We're taking the train direct from Porto. It's a very long train ride. I think it's clocked at about 2.5 hours. So I really hope there's a bathroom on this train, but we're looking forward to some great views. A little bit later in the journey, after we pass Regua, I'm not sure how to pronounce the station, you travel right along the Douro River, so I'm looking forward to getting some of that video as well. But until then, we're just gonna kind of sit back and try to relax and enjoy the scenery. after a nearly 2.5 train ride, where they did have a bathroom on the train, thankfully, we are in beautiful Pinal, where in just about 30 minutes or so, we'll get a taxi to our first winery of the day. Gonna cross the train tracks here and get a look at Pinal Station, which is known for having those blue tiles that like Porto and Portugal are known for. Look at those tiles. Very beautiful train stations. This is pretty cool. It's like 10:30 in the morning. Our first tasting's at 11:30, so we've just been walking around Pinal a little bit. The city's really quiet. I use city very loosely. It's a very, very small town, but it's really quiet. There's a couple of shops that are just starting to get their workers showing up and starting to clean up a little bit. We're doing 2 wine tours today. We're doing a small, really kind of family winery that I don't think it's distributed in the US at all. And then our second winery is the exact opposite, Carvela Haas, which is like distributed everywhere, including very widely in the US. So we're really excited for both. But it's absolutely beautiful, taking in the view right now. Right at the water, Pinal. Just gorgeous. One of the things we found out yesterday on one of our tours of the port wine lodges is that in the summer it can get up to like 110, 115 degrees here. So I'm super happy that we're here in February and not in June or July, because this is like the perfect temperature right now. I'm walking around, it's almost 11 in the morning and it's probably about 60 Fahrenheit. And I couldn't imagine if it was like 100, 110, I would be miserable, but this is like perfect weather right now. So we got here, top of the mountain. Can't see it too well from where we are right now, but it was an amazing view from the ride up. So we just got our last pour, that third pour. You taste 3 wines. And I'll say the wine's good. It's not the best wine I've ever had. It's certainly not, let's say, Napa level or anything like that. But it's good wine. But I will say it's probably one of the best tasting experiences we've ever had. This is pretty cool. We had the olives, we had the bread, we had the olive oil.
And the almonds.
Since then, we've had the olive paste brought out, and then these really cool jams. And what's amazing, believe it or not, this jam, the orange one, he asked us what fruit we thought it was, and we thought apricot, maybe peach. It's pumpkin. And this jam, he asked us what fruit it was. We thought maybe strawberry, maybe passion fruit, something like that. It's actually tomatoes. We could not believe that it was tomato and pumpkin. They definitely add sugar to make it sweetness, but it tastes like a sweet fruit, like you're having a strawberry. Good wine, not fantastic, but very good wine.
Almonds in the jam. Wow, almonds in the jam.
That's what he said. He said to try the almonds in the jam, and we did. Very good. It's very good. So we have this plus this view. Not bad.
Plus, he said that I can refill my glass anytime I want.
Yes. Plus, Diane got an unlimited refill, which is
quite dangerous.
After a very nice tasting at a small little local winery, which was really nice tasting, where the winemaker himself was pouring our wine, we're at the behemoth Carvalhajas. We showed up a little bit early, so we've got about a 45-minute wait before our tasting is ready. But we've got these crazy views to take in while we wait. There are some hiking trails around here too, so we might check that out. But this is an incredible view to take in.
Has less than 1 minute. It's in for a while. So we have almost Porto and Douro Valley has a precipitation between like
Getting ready for our tasting at Carvalhajas. All right, so we just finished our tasting at Carvalhajas. Very nice. Now we're walking across the Pinal Bridge here. I don't know if it's actually called the Pinal Bridge. All right, now that we're done with our winery tastings, we have one more stop before we head back on the train. And that's the tasting room for Quinta de Noval. Now, they don't actually taste at their vineyard. They only set up a tasting room in the actual city, so that's where we are. Luckily, it's like right down the street from the train, so we're gonna go ahead and taste that now. We are on the train back to Porto, done with wine tasting for today. We ran into some people from New Jersey that gave me some pretty snazzy wristbands here, so I'm rocking my wristbands that they gave me. So how about that? You run into other people from New Jersey when you're in Portugal, Douro Valley. In any case, I somehow bought a bottle of wine to go. I don't know how that happened, but okay. Cool. Train juice. Let's go. We got a 2-hour train ride ahead of us, so a little train juice. But yeah, that's it. So this is where we're gonna be for the next two and almost a half hours. So I was ready to go to bed, but Diane insisted we go out to this craft brewery. The brewery that we originally went to actually wasn't that good, but we found this like craft brew bar, and I randomly ordered a Polish sour. I didn't know it was Polish when I ordered it, but it is really good. It's from Funky Fluid, and it's a gelato sour called Alvareo or whatever. Anyway, they also gave me a Polish sweet that came with it, a little Polish piece of candy. It's pretty delicious. By the way, we also saw a can of Great Notion. So we saw some local U.S. beer, well, local to the United States, not to Jersey. But we saw some local U.S. craft beer here as well. So not a bad stop, and gelato sour, my first one ever. So today we're off to Regua, and today's a little bit different than yesterday. Whereas yesterday we were at 2 wineries, one which was really small, where we were served by the winemaker himself that owned the land, made the wine, whole 9 yards, made his own like preserves and things like that. And then we went to a major company, Carvalhajas, that has distribution everywhere, including like our local major wine stores. Today, we're going to 2 kind of mid-level wineries and 1 small winery, so we can kind of see more of the mid-level production. Check out these old trains that they have, like just chilling. A little bit before we pulled into the station, they had a couple old locomotives that were like all rusted out and stuff. I wish I would have got a video of that, but I wasn't prepared for it, so the video wasn't running. So we are at our first location. It's Quinta Serra de Ordens. Not quite sure I said that right, but this place is absolutely beautiful. I mean, spectacular. We're kind of up in the mountains here in Regla. Not quite sure if this is the best angle to see, but it's absolutely beautiful here. We have about 10 to 15 minutes to wait because we're a little bit early. We took the first taxi we could grab. It was about a 20-minute drive from the train station. It would have only cost about 15 euros, but we negotiated with the guy, or he offered, because he saw where we were going on our next stop. He's waiting for us, and then will take us to our next winery. So for like 50 euros total, he took us up here, waiting for us while we do our tour here, and then he'll take us basically all the way back down where we came from. So again, with no Uber, that was a pretty good deal. It just stinks that you actually have to pay cash, but I definitely have anxiety about running out of cash on the trip, but I've got like 120 euros on me now, so I should be all right. In any case, we're just going to explore the grounds a little bit until we actually start our tastings. But this place is beautiful. Look at this. Oh, look at that pool down there. My gosh. Diane's calling to the animals. One of the best wine tasting experiences at Valado that we've ever had. We got to see like how the wine was actually made, like how when they pick the grapes, it's like thrown down these little chutes and where it gets stomped and everything like that. Now we ran over to Santa Eufema, which is a very small producer as well. Absolutely beautiful. Take a look at the valley there. So we finished our tasting at Santa Eufema. Unfortunately, I couldn't take a lot of video or do much there because we were in a rush to get back to the train station, and also they were in a rush to close. As it wound up, we actually did get back to the train station like 40 minutes early, so we are at Aneto Wines, a little wine shop slash restaurant that's literally right by the train station. You can see the tracks right behind me, which is really cool and convenient. So we're gonna have some little tapas here, have some local food, and also trying a different region of wine. So we've been doing Douro Valley wines and port wines all trip, but this is from Lamego. This is from Lamego, which is southwest of Porto. Heading out on our last day in Porto. We're gonna try to hit as many of the city sites as we can, since we lost a good amount of time on our first day in Porto because we did the boat tour, and then of course we had to be in Gaia, and later in the afternoon for tastings at different port lodges and everything. So hopefully we'll see all the major tourist spots today. We're not gonna be taking any trains today, all walking. So I'm sure I'll hit another 20,000 step day. The Claragos Tower, one of the most popular tourist sites in Portugal, or at least in Porto. We're at Eteria Quinto do Paco, having our eclairs and morning espresso. Day of wine tasting. We're going to do two today, two different port lodges. The first one being Sandman. We do the tour and tasting, and then after we're done at Sandman, we're going to go over to another one where we also have a fado show as well. just finished our tour at Sandman and definitely a little tipsy for sure. We went to a local restaurant right on the water. I had the Francesina before at like a market, but it wasn't so good, so I didn't think it was representative, and I really didn't like it, but I definitely wanted to try the Francesina. So I ordered it here. Super looking forward to it. Look at that. That's got like 3 different kinds of meats in it. It's got sausage. It's got, I don't even know. I'm a little intoxicated right now because of the tasting we had at Sandman. Fries, and then Diane has the octopus as well. But take a look at inside of this Francesina. How ridiculous is this meat? It's got ham, sausage, and beef. Ham, sausage, and beef, topped with an egg with this sauce around it, and then fries to dip in the sauce that Diane's stealing from me right now. So looking forward to this. Diane's gonna taste it.
That's really good.
Diane says it's really good. And after a very good dinner, we are ready for our last tasting in Porto, right here at Callum, where we're going to do not only a tour and a tasting, but also a fado show. So it's some kind of like music show. I don't know. I kind of get the feeling it's kind of like a Spanish flamenco show, but without the dancing part of it. So we'll take a look and check it out and see what it's like. But I'm really looking forward to it. It is the last thing we're gonna do in Porto before we go back to the hotel and go to sleep and get up at like 4 in the morning to take a flight to Frankfurt to connect back to the US. Way too many people at the Callum tasting.
The temperature for the wine.
Way too many.
Vai tudo marinheiro que estando triste cantava, que estando triste cantava.
So we're on the train here in Frankfurt. We just landed in Frankfurt maybe a half an hour ago. We do have a long layover at Frankfurt. We did that intentionally. We could have taken a plane with only maybe an hour and a half layover. But we chose like 5-6 hour layover so we could explore Frankfurt a little bit before going out. We do have to go back a little bit earlier though, because Diane got the dreaded secondary security screening on her ticket, the SSSS. So she won't get to use her TSA pre-check, and then she'll be checked for security again at the gate. So we won't have quite as long as we were planning to explore in Frankfurt, but we'll still have about 2 to 2.5 hours. So we're still really looking forward to it, as we've never been to Germany before. And here we are on the streets of Frankfurt. I will say that was one of the smoothest train rides that I've ever experienced. The only thing that I would say was smoother that I've ever done was the Shinkansen in Japan. Oh, thank you. I don't know how to say the name of the store that we're in front of right now, but this is my first ever Frankfurter from Frankfurt. So Diane did a lot of research before we came out, and one of the things we were really looking forward to trying was a kind of apple wine, which is sold on tap and cold, so similar to, like, I guess, a hard apple cider. Steer apple wine. So security was a complete pain in the ass at Frankfurt Airport. They literally checked everybody's stuff. So everybody's luggage went through the little scanner, and maybe not everybody, but like 80% of people. Even when it was just electronics like an iPad, it got called for secondary. They secondary checked my backpack. They checked everything. They went into absolutely everything, put little sticks places. For like 10 minutes, they're going through my bag. I have no idea what the hell's going on. And just like that, the trip is over. We're headed home. I just got on board the United flight from Frankfurt back to Newark, so we should be landing home in about 9 hours or so. Really fun trip. We learned some interesting things on the trip. Neither Diane or I had a lot of experience with port wine before, so some of the things that we learned is that we really like ruby ports and we like LBV ports. We really like vintage ports. We don't like tawnies so much, and that's really the popular ones that we tend to see in the store in the US. But if we did have to go to a tawny, 20-year tawny is where we would shoot for. Diane likes 40 years as well, of course, because they're very expensive. We also learned the train system in Portugal. It's good, it's reliable, but they don't run on time. Train was late, like every train we took in Portugal. So it works, the train system works in Portugal, just not on time. You'll be waiting around and standing on the platform for your train for a little while, and even once you get on the train, you're not going to get to your destination until a significant time after. So other than that, Frankfurt, everything at Frankfurt worked really well as far as the train was concerned. Got in and out of the airport super quick, super smooth ride, really convenient. Security was a pain in the ass at Frankfurt because they checked everybody, so that was annoying. But we are ready to go home, ready to see our cat again, and looking forward to our next adventure.